I better check that. Hi, everybody. We're
Hello.
live. Jeffrey's checking to make sure that we're live, and I'm pushing my phone up because yesterday it kept ringing at all the wrong times. So, good morning to everyone.
Hello. Good. I push
Okay, we got
it's like to see everybody.
Linda's been hanging in for a while. Debbie, Three Shifting Veils, Angla, Candy Mullen, and Faye Cole. Those are the folks that are up so far. And as you gathered, if you watched my thing, that statement that I had on my thumbnail announcing the show about I've washed my bills and the laundry's in the oven and all that stuff. That's kind of how my last couple days have been. Nothing was where it was supposed to be. Everything was all mixed up. But Jeffrey and I managed to slug through it and get the show up today. So,
You want to hear something funny about the laundry in the oven?
yes.
So for years I made T-shirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I dyed them and I would put images on them. So one time I had this idea and I had these thermals and I dyed, say, three of them blue and three of them sort of like a tannish color.
Mm-hmm.
Then I cut them in half, like right around the chest,
Mm-hmm.
sewed
Mm-hmm.
them together, and I put like images between the two, and they were really cool. And I was like, these aren't cool enough. This is like, I don't know, 2008 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these need something, and I put them in the oven, and I burned them a little bit.
Oh,
I sold them so fast.
that's what I always do with my handwork. I
Cool.
burn it in the oven first. Just goes to show.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
craft person. What can I say?
And we had some questions submitted, so we're going to start. No, let's start with the obvious part first, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Jeffrey and I are want to start a tarot class, and we keep talking about it, and people keep looking at it, and they're going, "Yeah, well, yeah." And I kind of got the impression from people that they wanted the class, but just not then. And so Jeffrey and I kind of really need to get it, and I'd like to finish it before the holidays. So the date we have tentatively picked is the 8th of October, which is a Tuesday.
Hmm.
And you can go to my go to my website and see all the description of it. But Jeffrey and I were just going to kind of talk about it a little bit. Um, First of all, I'd like to read you a couple letters that came from the last people from the last group that took the class. Okay. This is one, and it says Nancy Jean and Jeffrey's tarot class stands apart from other classes. She offers insights into numerology, connects to the tarot, and how we can use it to enhance our own readings. She is what she is well versed in many divinary modalities, and and they are and they strongly encouraged using our own intuition. Throughout the course, um, they were so helpful to answer questions that might come up. Several of the other students and I formed a reading group, a study group afterwards, and they did meet up until they met every Thursday up until last week. And one of the organizers of it is going to take some time off to go study healing in a different modality. So she dropped organizing it. I don't know if the others are going to stay organized or not. Um, but we enjoyed practicing once a week on Zoom. Uh, they are generous spirits that give from the heart. Thank you. And then the other one, to be honest, I was not sure if I took Nancy Jean's tarot course because of the 60 plus years of her hands on the experience of the various mystic modalities, and she had honed them and incorporated them into their tarot. But Nancy and Jeffrey teach and weave different mystic modalities into the readings that include people, symbolism, timing, scenarios, past and present, and future readings. Nancy shares a scrapbook of evidential evidence, and her and Jeffrey's interpretations have an accuracy and a power that I wasn't sure I could learn, but it is teachable. Not only is there great content, but it was a fun class as well. I was privileged to meet um, these two great mystics and to continue to practice weekly with some of my classmates. She was from the same class. And one of the things that we do is I've heard from people that they'll sign up to take a class, but because it's distance, it's like you don't get anything. With us, you get stuff.
A
We
lot.
give you worksheets, we give you identification markers, we give you reading maps. I have about 70 reading different sketches of different ways you can lay the cards out to read. 70 is an awful lot. But I do have a book. I actually own a book that says 366 ways to read tarot, and it's
Mhm.
got each day has a different kind of reading things. I've gone through all that. I go through that with the class. You kind of get settled into certain reading patterns, but it's nice to know there's other stuff out there.
Yeah.
What Jeffrey brings is not my computer full of pictures, although he's much better with graphics than I am. But what Jeffrey brings is Jeffrey has an absolutely astounding understanding of the Rider Waite deck because it's the only deck he uses. True?
Yes.
And
No, it's in Spanish, actually, Nancy.
well, it's because you're in Mexico City.
Sí, es re, sí, re.
Rey de Oros. So we're pitching the class again. I'm running the below here the website you can go to. You go into the shop. There's a complete explanation of it. And also you can contact me or Jeffrey if you have more questions. I'm just easier to get a hold of right now.
Yeah, and the point of us giving the class is to really, I mean, it's fun and you learn things, and even if you learn one or two things about symbolism, that's great, or five or six. But it's really about you and us encouraging you for you to tap into your own intuition, your own understanding of what's going on, which is
Mm-hmm.
really powerful. That's really powerful to really understand. This is how I feel about this. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm seeing, and to like honor that and to be able to utilize that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's one thing if we take you fishing. It's like, but now we're going to teach you how to fish in a way. I don't know how else to say
Right.
it. So that's the thing, and it's fun, and you get a lot of information, and you meet people, and it helps you to really be more in touch with your intuition, which we all need more and more these days as
Mm-hmm.
change moment to moment.
Yeah, and the thing is, in a way, kind of now's a great time to learn this because, believe it or not, the world is going to settle down.
Yeah,
We've got Uranus running into the sun and doing some stuff soon, but then it's going to be It's going to be a lot calmer than it's been, and you know, you can do fun stuff with tarot. It's not always heavy duty, life altering things. Most of the time when I read people, it's just they kind of want to talk and they want to look at it. It really gives you a chance to look at what's going on around you in a different light and
hmm
maybe open up parts of your brain
hmm
you have not been listening to as effectively as you might.
or parts of your heart that you haven't been listening
Yeah.
to. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the first person who gets reading today, she did this. She wants a general reading.
Okay, good.
Okay. So
I'm
I'm
the
going to use tarot.
operation, so
Mhm.
I can read cards, but I can read words.
Jeffrey's in the middle of getting his cataracts fixed, and one's fixed and one isn't. And I've never done that, so I don't know what it's like. But I have two friends who have gone through it in the last couple weeks. Jeffrey being one. We do claim we're reading cards, so I guess seeing them is part of that.
So I already have I have the cards down.
Okay, well, do yours first, and I'll put mine in.
All right. I feel like you have some new ideas. Here we go. You have some new ideas that you really want to act on. You used to think a certain way, now you're thinking a new way that's more expansive, more open. And I say go for it. It's like, so look, this is the 7. This is about confidence. And he's running off with the ideas and he's leaving the other ones behind. He's utilizing the ones that are good. This is the 5, and the 5 is a change. And it's like, I'm done fighting. I'm done struggling. I just want to take what's mine and run with it, like my ideas, because these are both ideas. They're swords, ideas, messages. And he is all about expansion because he turned his back on the past and it was fertile, but it wasn't enough for him. It's like, no, I want to have the world in my hands. I want to have more opportunities. I want to go on an adventure. I want to be more expansive. And, you have the 5, so you've changed your mind about, fighting, about all that. And you have a 7, so go forward with it. Go forward with it.
Yeah, I kind of got the same thing. You're thinking about separating from something. Right now, you're balancing things, but you have an opportunity to move forward. And you in the recent past, you were moving really, really quickly. And now you're kind of at a stalemate. Your head and your heart are fighting over how something's going to turn out. That's your immediate energy around you right now. In the near future, you have a choice of divorcing yourself from something, someone, someplace, something. And your intuition's telling you to move on, at least no later than spring. You need to be to a new place. There's a gentleman out there that's supporting you, and he's blonde haired, blue eyed. He's very he's it's a king of cups. He's emotionally supportive about this. But your problem is you're addicted to something that has to do with this activity. It's a pattern. You know you can survive there. You feel confident there. You're not sure about making that leap because you don't want to be the new kid on the block having to learn things again. But this is telling me now, you realize these cards you can't do a whole lot about because they're going on. Anything that's out here, you can turn. And so the one I would turn is being afraid of being the bright, intuitive child. This is hopes and fears. That's your intuition. That's the high priestess. You are a very intuitive creature. You ought to be working with that because all the rest of these, and you can kick this. Materialism means you're getting it out of your life. So that's getting rid of the devil that's been out controlling you. And it's someone has told you you don't have to be perfect when you do things. And when you go to something new, yeah, you're going to feel like the new kid on the block. But you're better off going on and becoming the new kid on the block than falling into your old habits. Let's see what we got next. Okay, I'm going to keep the camera on my table because it's easier for them to see.
Go back and forth, but I'll do more than 3.
Do you see me working in a theatrical setting soon? Crystal Blue Persuasion. I like your name.
Who was this? Who was the band that did that song?
I don't know, but I can hear it in my head. Crystal
too.
Blue Persuasion. Somehow I'm relating that to being in high school and being in basements and at parties.
All right. Oh, I have to turn them around. So confused. Because yeah, I'll do that.
Do you want me to give you a chance to set up? I can answer.
Yeah.
Okay. The last job sort of broke your heart or made you sick.
I got the same thing.
And so you went to a job that really gave you real value and money. And these 3 cards would say, no, there's nothing coming up in a theatrical setting soon because you need to stay where you feel valued. This is much as money. This is you feel valued there. And you've been kind of just sort of put in positions where you love doing the theater work, but they're not telling you the truth. So what'd you get, Jeffrey?
I got a really similar reading. You felt at home, then it was severed, you walked away. It was too much of a burden. And then a new opportunity came that was more established. Can you see the cards?
Yeah, we can see him fine.
That, in fact, was money, like you said.
10 of
It
coins, yeah.
transformed you. And, I think you're waiting for like sort of a revelation. Like, heartbreak opened you up to new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can't be here. You
No.
can't be in a place that they want to just suck everything from you. So when's it going to come? It's coming.
It's coming in 10 weeks, 10 months.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay. The next question is from Elizabeth.
I like going back.
Looks like I have some old patterns about perfection I was not aware of. What is the lesson to learn or message around me to release this pattern? Thank you for your help.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask for a pattern. Congrats on the dog show, Winnie. Your dog is so pretty. She shows a dog, and it looks like it's kind of like a border collie. It's a black and white dog. It looks like a border collie. And I should know what kind of dog it is, Elizabeth, but I don't remember. I had a Sheltie that looked just like that. So, but my Sheltie would not have won in a dog show. My Sheltie would have been chasing all the other dogs around the pen. Elizabeth's perfection. Okay. Jeffrey's thinking, so I'm going to read.
No, I'm not.
This is an old family pattern. This is you were taught to be, don't show it until it's absolutely perfect. But that means you never get to show it because nothing's ever absolutely perfect. It came from your father figure, your male figure. And what you have to do is sit down and decide, I want to get away from this. Turn around and do the 8 of Cups thing. I'm out of here. Take the lessons you've learned, but leave that one that everything has to be absolutely perfect to be okay. And it's as much about your own having to control everything yourself. You need to share in the burdens of what you're doing so that you don't feel like it's always you that has to be perfect. What you got, Jeffrey?
Right. Look what I start with. Right. I know. I read it. I whatever. Maybe I should just throw them upside down. All right. Yeah, I got the card of like letting go. And this is really about a self. It's a willing sacrifice that you cut out because it gives you anxiety, and you always feel defensive. But to know that you're actually loved and supported, you're always loved and supported, and that will change. So this is what I've been doing lately. I go to the forest. Now you could do it on your bed or whatever. But for me, I go to the forest, and if you live in a place that's, still warm enough, go into nature. I mean, I lay down on the ground, but go sit by a tree or something, and I give them everything. It's like, take my anxiety, take my fear, take my worry, take my doubt, take my blocks, take everything. And what the trees have been telling me is that they love doing that for us. For them, it's fertilizer. For them, it's like, yes, give it all to us. That's what we're here for. We're here to love and support you, and then receive what you want and ask, what is it that I need to learn? What is it that I need to let go of that's in my way? What is it? And listen. And it could be the trees, it could be plants, it could be a pet, it could be the river, it could be, just go and sit and listen to yourself, and it becomes clearer and clearer. And sometimes it's like you'll get one answer, maybe 2 weeks later you get another answer. You're in the process of letting go, because that's what this King of Swords does. He cuts out everything that's unnecessary.
Yeah, he's Archangel Michael.
And then this is a willing self-sacrifice. I sacrifice myself to my light. I sacrifice myself to my light. I'm willing to pause and stop and look and listen to what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that, so make it a little ritual. Make it fun, and
Yeah.
say, this is how here I am. I let go of all these blocks. I let go of all this perfectionism, and how can I move forward? And sit and listen. And it takes time, but
Mhm.
it'll come.
Just try to love yourself the way that dog loves you.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah.
You'll be fine. Okay, and this is Reza. I think it's Risa. I'm born November 8th, 1977. Oh, you're the age of my daughter. I moved to Canada for better job opportunities. I'd love to hear your thoughts about my chart and what you see in my near future. Well, I don't really do astrologic charts. I mean, I can read them and kind of understand them, but I don't really do them. But what I did do for you was I figured out um, your that what year you're in. What um, we all have personal years, and I figured yours out. I've got to get to the page on my phone where I wrote it down, and some jerk keeps calling in and not letting me get on my own damn phone. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're trying again. Hold for go, Jeffrey, because I got it.
Scorpio, Miss Risa, because I am born on November 7th, so I understand. Okay, so your light led you to Canada. You took what you needed there and you left the rest behind because the old way doesn't work anymore and you can't revive it, and you know that. And you went there with a sense of hope and a sense of opportunity. And it's about still letting go of the past. You have to completely let go of what was. You can't see the future. If you're driving on the road, don't be looking in the rearview mirror the whole time. Look straight ahead. Look straight ahead. And the key is you keep on telling yourself you can't do it. You can't do it. It's like this is all self-imposed. You can do it. It's over. You left with the good stuff. Your old way of thinking doesn't work anymore. You saw the opportunity. You know that. You already know that. You just need a little like keep going, like a little keep going, and stop telling yourself, oh, I can't do this and I can't do this and I can't do this. It's like you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. The angel of light is here. This is about harmony. You can do whatever you want. I feel like it's, oh, do you see opportunity? I see plenty of opportunities. The thing that's in your way is saying, well, in the United States, this didn't work. It's like, but you're not in the United States anymore. You're in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, what I got is from your birthday. Now, what a personal year is, each year you add up the digits in the year, and this is an 8 year because 2024, if you add all the digits together, they reduce to an 8. So we're in an 8 year, and your birthday is November. That's 118. So that's that 1 and 8 equals 10. It reduces to to 1, and we're in an 8 year. So you add the 1 and the 8 together. You're going at your birthday on the 8th of November. You will be going into a 9 year, which means right now, when you moved and did all this stuff and moved to Canada, it was an 8 year. And that is a year when you're looking for regeneration, new power for your life. And 8 is a health and wealth year. That means some of what you've done this year, you've built it into a healthier pattern to start to really kind of finish out the year. You're moving into a 9 year. 9 years are great years, but that's the year you're going to find you shed a lot of stuff. the attainment of the completion of the cycle. And you'll be closing down things that haven't worked. So you're in a perfect position. You're in a new place, new things to start. Ditch all the stuff you had around you that didn't work. Move towards the things that are going to work, because next year in 2025, on your birthday, November 8th, you'll be going into a 1 year, and 1 years are fun years. Lots of new stuff comes in. If you're open to it, lots of new stuff comes in. You get to start a lot of new things. So part of what you're feeling, Raisa, I think is you've probably been feeling a lot of things going away from you, and that's perfectly normal. It's that's what you want to have happen in between the 8th year, when you consolidate your power, and the 9th year is when you look at it and you go, I want to keep this, I want to get rid of that, somewhere in your head. And my favorite 9 year story is I worked with a waiter who was also a sommelier at the wine bar that I used to read cards at. And he had long hair that was down his back, and he wore it in a man bun, which I personally think is one of the ugliest hairstyles known to humanity. But he
Is that
did it.
my hat?
Yes, Jeffrey uses a hat instead of a man bun, and he was the wild child. He never settled down. He worked some for his father. He worked almost full time, but sort of part time at the wine bar. They had other things they would have liked him to do. He was going to get tied down to one job, and he was incredibly handsome. So women came into the wine bar just to get a glass of wine so they could talk to him. And anyway, he came up and he said, I need to talk to you. And I said, well, it's empty right now. Rob won't care. Sit down. And he said, everything's changing. And I said, what do you mean everything's changing? And I looked, and he'd cut his hair off into a nice haircut. And I said, wow, you cut your hair? He said, yeah, I got tired of taking care of it. And he said, and I've accepted the job here. They wanted to turn me into the assistant vintner. The wine bar I worked at actually vinted wine, it barreled wine in the place. And he said, they want me to come in and become the assistant vintner. I said, well, good for you. And I said, so how else is it going? And he'd always told me he never dated one girl very long because he wasn't going to get tied down. And if he ever did meet the woman of his dreams, she wouldn't be someone who had kids, because he wasn't going to worry about somebody else's kids. And I said, there's something else going on. What are you not telling me? And he said, well, I've met this woman. He didn't call her a girl. All the other people he talked about dating were girls. And I said, and she was into rocks and Reiki and massage therapy and a lot of other stuff. And I said, she sounds perfectly charming. He said, there's a problem. She's got a daughter. And I said, well, if you don't want to get involved with that, then get away from it before they become attached to you. And he said, but I want to stay there and I want to get attached. And I said, you got a real problem. And I said, when's your birthday? And it ends up his birthday, he was ending his 9 year in 2 weeks. He was ending his closeout cycle. He had done in like a week and a half a year's worth of ditching his hair, picking a new kinds of job, meeting someone he really liked. And I said, well, you can go with it, but you're making a commitment here. And he said, I'm really changing, aren't I? And I said, yeah, you're going into a 1 year, all new chance for new beginnings. Uh, since that happened, and that happened the year before COVID, they've gotten married and they now have a son. And he redid an apartment for her in his father's building for them to live in. And he's like the most settled middle class father who works at the wine bar you've ever seen. But that's the difference between an 8 year and 9 year and going into a 1 year. You really Now I would not advise anyone to do it all in a week and a half. That's way too much schizophrenia for me. But
The thing is also, Risa, you're a Scorpio. You
mm-hmm,
transform. That's what you do. That's what you do. It's
mm-hmm.
instant transformation. Welcome to the world of Scorpio.
Okay, here comes my craziest question all day. I'm preparing for a hurricane party Wednesday. My son and his family, as well as one of my husband's coaches, are staying with us for it. What do the guards say? What do the guides and cards say about this? Oh, okay. And I personally know this lady. You're crazy, but it's your family. Yeah, tower time. How will I'm asking how you're going to survive through this hurricane. So I like Texas weather's nuts and it's too hot, but it doesn't come and stay like hurricanes do. And if a hurricane makes it all the way to Jeffrey, we're in real trouble because he lives in Mexico City.
No, it's like there are too many mountains.
I know it will make. They don't climb mountains.
There's a hurricane on the west coast in Mexico now.
Hmm. We get the winds off that comes across West Texas. What do I see for you, my dear? It's going to take a lot of strength. There's going to be a lot of tension and pressure, but you guys have the spiritual strength to make it through. You got the Seven of Swords, but seven is the spiritual growth number. It's safety and security. Efforts that you start in this time will have to be lived with and continued on. So, what did you get, Jeffrey?
Well, I start with the Tower, which is not a very good card.
I know.
Yeah. You know, be prepared to, if you need to move during it, then move during it. Be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Follow your intuition. It'll all be okay, but it's a little hairy.
You're going to be sitting there about midway through the storm saying, why the hell did we stay here?
Yeah.
But you're going to survive it. It's not like that. But I think there's something else I'd rather do in my summer vacation. This question is, I would like to know if the right man will enter my life. Thank you. Jeffrey and I have a thing about he may enter your life. Do you want to know? I'm going to put a 2-year limit on this because, I could say you're going to find the perfect guy and give you this glowing reading, and it could take 12 years for him to get here. For 11 years, you're going to be swearing at the reader on the tube. They said he'd be here. Why the hell is he? So we're going to see if he's going to show up in the next couple of years. Well, you got the romance card in the middle.
Yeah, I got some good cards too here.
I got some romance cards. I think it's going to be a little longer than 2 years because it trails out, but you've been through it with relationships, so you kind of know what you're really looking for. And you're asking this question with kind of tongue in cheek. There's a part of you that would love to find the perfect person, and there's a part of you that's going, I don't think he exists. But he does. He's out there. You got the Knight of Cups. That's romance. So this is saying yes. It's when you change your perspective enough that you'll look at the right guys instead of, I have this dream person I want. You have to change your perspective. And I think you have some control issues that you share with these people you bring into your life, and you have to get over the control issue. Always having to be in charge. But I'd say it's within the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, I put a silent 2 or 3 year thing on it too because that makes sense to me. I start with the Death card, which is all about transformation. So maybe there's stuff that you let go, that new things are coming up. I mean, I do have that card. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's you have to choose what it is you want. You have to choose what it is that you really want.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll know because the King of Cups is the listener. The King of Cups is the great listener. He's a soft king. He's not like other kings. He's soft. He listens. He's not with the swords. He's not with the wands. He's not with the pentacle. He's a soft, kind, listening, intuitive, healing sort of energy. So it's almost like it's more like like the loving grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's not like a guy. He's not that. He's not that. He's a soft man, and I think, you know, he comes from his heart. That's the key. Because maybe I think you know, we all want like, oh wow, look at that. It's like, no, no, no. The soft one. That's the one.
Okay. We're gonna change me back because I just looked at the.
I did get the two of cups though. Really, that's
That's that
the heart of love.
you got some good cards.
Yeah.
And
That's
then we have
okay. What does this one say?
that's the one we just finished.
Oh, okay.
So I have to go. This is our closing banner question. It's not really a question. I thought I was the only one drifting between worlds. She saw my thing about washing my lawn, washing my bills, and baking my.
No, you're not the only one.
We're all there. It's going to be
We're
that way.
all there.
Okay. And I'm going through the comments now, Jeffrey. So why don't you tell them another good reason why they should take our tarot class?
Because we love to teach, and because you love to learn.
Yeah. Okay. And
And
we've got,
the teachers into it, right? We
right.
both like to teach, so that really helps. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you know you're in like middle school
Mm-hmm.
or high school, and you get this certain teacher, and it's like, oh my God, they're so bored, and you pick up on their boredom more than on, you know, what they're teaching you. As
Mm-hmm.
if, like this one who's like, let's say it's an English teacher, and they're really into the story, or the history teacher, he's really into it. It's like that makes it we're both into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to have a literature teacher that she'd read the first 30 pages of sort of the Agatha Christie kind of mysteries, and she'd know what the answer was.
Hmm.
I mean, she was a sweetie, though.
I never looked for the answer. I like to be entertained by the whole thing.
I did too.
Yeah.
Candy Mullen. I hope you're going to provide a reason for me to like fall. I don't like it. Well, no, we're going to climb in your head and rearrange your brain cells. Everything dies and falls and fall into such a depression. Well, okay. The fall is the time of year when we take stock
That's right. Gather.
of what's gone on for the year, and it's time to harvest in what you've gained, and it's a time you'd really do well to write out a list of all the things that have improved for you this year, Candy. The things the things that you can store and save and regrow next spring,
Hmm.
or work with over the winter and make stronger. um, the fall, I love fall. Of course, I live where it's blazing hot. So fall's such a
I always
fun
like fall in
thing.
New York because I don't know, I like the drama of it. And
Mhm.
I like the changing colors, and I like the wind coming through. And it's not winter yet, so you can still go outside. And actually, the fall in New York was when like all the best, uh, well, the opera was, you know, on.
Mhm.
All the shows started. The
Mhm.
museums had their shows. So it's like work with it.
Yeah.
Work
I
with it.
I used to run volunteers. I had several organizations that I coordinated volunteers for. And I decided when I was running volunteers that January 1st was not the start of the new year. The start of the new year was what we'd all been very carefully educated for 12 years if we went to grammar and high school. Everything starts in the fall. You get the new shoes, the new clothes, the new books, and a whole new stream of knowledge coming into your life in the fall. And people react to that because when I would run my volunteer groups, a lot of them would kind of walk off, go away, or not be around for the summer. And it was in the fall when you could come and get them all excited and they were ready to go. It was like this was the new year for activities, was
Right.
the fall, because that's how we're raised. That's when we get our shiny new things to learn from. So that's kind of the attitude I come fall with, Candy. I don't know if that can help you or not, but
Midwinter makes no sense.
And
Midwinter.
also, is it fall or did something happen to you?
But also, like the spring would make also sense for the new year, right? Everything's blooming again,
Mhm.
but or the fall, you know.
But for things to bloom, you have to take activity to make sure they're there.
Right.
And that's what we do in the fall and in the winter, depending on where you live. And the other thing, Candy, is think through your life, and is there something that happened that makes the fall riskier for you? In the case of my dear, sweet, departed husband, who was born in England, he was a child in Britain when the World War II started. That started September 1st, 1939. 39? Yeah, 39.
Mhm.
And Bill had late August, early September crazies every year. I mean, you just knew, and I couldn't figure out what's going on around him. Finally, he got to a therapist, they talked it out, and it more or less went away. But he was snatched out of school the day the war started, put on a bus with all the other little school kids, and taken out to a suburb of London and deposited in a house with complete strangers. And he was there for 6 weeks before he knew where his family was. He was 8 years old.
Yeah, that's
So, and he never related the trauma. He could talk about being evacuated. He could talk about the fact the family took his food card and fed it to their kids. And eventually he collapsed in a classroom and they realized he was starving to death. And they moved him to a new place and his mother came and got him. And the weird thing is they moved him out of London so they wouldn't get bombed by the Nazis. The Nazis started bombing London the day he came back. They weren't waiting for me. So I hope you don't have anything nearly that traumatic, but sometimes the weirdest little things can make people say, I don't like this or I don't like that.
yeah.
But Candy's normally a very, you know, enthusiastic person when she asks her questions. And I can't think of another thing. If you were sitting across the table from me, that's exactly what I'd say to you. And Tiffany is in Iowa and she loves both of us. Many blessings to you and everyone. Go Iowa. Iowa's looking bluer and bluer. Okay. That's politics. We don't do it. Oh, okay, Sandra. I saw this one. Hello to you, Nancy Jean, and your most treasured sons, Scott and Sean. Sean is my son. Scott is my friend. I could have technically, Scott's mother and I were born in the same year, so I could be Scott Kubi's mother, but I am not. I am Sean's mother, and I'm not Ripe Color's mother either. Hmm. Oops. Okay, and what else we got?
Oh, and Nancy and I are going to be on. When are we going to be on this week? The 28th.
Oh, we're Psychics for Democracy or the Psychathon. It's on the 28th.
It's
And
really the best.
it's 24 hours of psychic. Man, if you can't get read this Saturday night, you're not working at it.
No, I
And
think this is 12 hours, isn't it, or 11?
oh, she only could do 11. Okay, she's not doing 24 hours.
Yeah.
But we did this last month, and we raised just under $10,000.
But is it on Friday? Or I don't know what day it's on. It's on the 28th.
Okay, let me.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
I can go find it real fast.
Friday. I think it's Saturday.
Gmail.
And we're going to be on together.
Yes.
Yeah, that I saw. I can't figure out the timing, but we're gonna be the early ones. We're gonna open it.
Yeah, we're going to be on.
I
The
would love
lineup is Deborah starts at noon on the 28th.
to see.
And then Jeffrey and I and Juno are going to be on from 12:30 to 1:30
Easter.
Eastern time.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to post a thing about it too with the right times. Then there's going to be a giveaway. Then there's going to be Deborah Zakow, Allie, and Marina are going to be on for an hour and a half. And then Terry, Jean, and Whimsy are going to be on for an hour and a half from 4 to 5. No, so they're only going to be on for an hour. And then Helen is Irish Granny, Rick, and Denise are going to be on. And then there are going to be some more giveaways. People who are participating in this can give away things. Last time I gave away 2 gardens. So far, only one person has reported back to me with their proper mailing address, so I can send it to them. Then Sheila and Deborah are going to be on with Jilly Beans from 7 through 8. And then Scott, Scorpio, Sherry, and Ramon. Ramon's really cute, guys, by the way. From 8:30 to 9:30. And then Helen and Nath. And they're going to close it out at 11. So, and there may be some changes in that because she said she had a lot of other readers who wanted to participate. But it was fun.
Yeah,
and you can ask, it's like this, you can ask questions, and she has someone in the background that feeds us the questions.
Yeah, that is so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, we want you to all join us for the tarot class. It'll be fun.
Yeah, come to the class, and
we've done it before. We're getting, more seasoned at it.
And Tammy, I don't know. Yesterday I made a channel post on Facebook, and after it I was dizzy, and it still comes and goes today. Are the two related, and why? Tammy, you've been having a lot of dizziness, and unless you can clearly relate it to the spiritual work you're doing, I would suggest you go see a doctor. Because when people get really disoriented and fall down, when I was falling down, I went to the doctor. They did all the metering and everything and figured out, well, fortunately, his aunt is an astrologer in India, and he just wrote it off to what I do for a living. So, but you may be different. I don't feel like it's I just feel like you need to get the physical problem checked out first. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I agree. As you were saying it, I was like, yep.
Okay. And this is Reza, who we did the thing that she's going into a 9-year. This is a good year for seeking a job because you'll be able to be given fresh opportunities. But can you read it, Jeffrey?
Barely.
Okay. And Candy's getting a couple of people who's saying that they find fall depressing too. Okay. Here's one that's written in capitals. What do the next 6 months hold for me in my writing? Yes, and I'm asking about money. Haha. Please. And thank you. And happy autumn, everyone. Okay. Let's see if we got many more questions. Go ahead, Jeffrey, because I'm going to check out.
I feel like you need to introduce something new to the writing. Like you do a certain type of writing, but there's like another element to put in. So like, because that's what I got, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the strategy. Don't spend any money on classes.
Mm-mm.
Don't spend any money on classes. I'm not getting, it's like you have what it takes, but you need to like rebalance. Look, this is The Alchemist. This is Raphael, right? Mm-hmm. So alchemy is all about kind of boiling something down to its good. You take something and you boil it down to its pure essence, to its good essence. And then another thing you boil down to its not good essence. And you put them together. And you form something new out of that. Mm-hmm. So it's like maybe there's a type of writing that you always do, but I think another kind of writing that I feel you need to like incorporate with it. It's like a different genre or something like that, or a hint of it, in order mm-hmm. to make a new combo. That is the strategy. And then watch the money. And do it because you love it, not because you want something to feed you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supported in it. Write about the thing you don't want to write about.
Yeah. What I see is you got the hangman upside down. You need to take a new perspective on it. and that's coming to you. And what it really is, there's some part of what you're writing that you're really bored and tired with. Cast it off. It's old stuff. It's old news. You don't have anything new you can do with it. Um, you also need to take a little more of a commercial look at what you're writing. Like, do you have an audience to sell it to? But and get up and write every day, whether you want to write or not, because it's those days when your body's holding you back that your mind is really ready to let go of some of this stuff. And I see that it's going to take about 7 months for it to materialize. But this is a guy tending the crops and making it grow. If
Oh,
you
okay.
follow these steps, you can make it grow.
Yeah.
So,
As a creative, so, I had a t-shirt business for a really long time, right? And I sold them and everything. And then I started making, it was like this New York City, right? I did
mm-hmm,
the spiritual, mystical stuff, and they were okay. I did the New York City, and it was like every other thing, and I said that paid the rent.
mm-hmm,
I didn't want to do it. You know what? It paid the rent. It was
mm-hmm.
easy to do. I could do it, and that left me time to do what I really wanted to do. So I know as an artist, sometimes I'm selling out. It's like, yeah, but if you're paying the rent, you're not selling out. You're
Surviving is surviving. As an artist, that's a thing to.
yeah.
If time allows, we're going to do a real quick general reading on Heavenly Blessed Honey, just a general reading. So I'm going to do a 5 card on where you've been and where you're going.
Oh, nice.
Got the best card in the deck, the Sun.
Oh, good.
Okay. You've got the Sun, which is the best card in the deck, right side up or upside down. It means yes. What you need to be doing in this next period of time is to honing your. I read my 5 swords differently than most people. This you've used all these swords, and now you've picked your best sword, the thing you're best at, the one you want to hone, the one you want to really get to know. You're not at the point of completion with it yet, but you have the strength to keep moving and keep growing. And um, if there's some gentleman or some parental figure that pops up in your head saying you can't do it, tell it to shut up. This can be an extremely successful time for you. What you get, Jeffrey?
I like the way you said that. Yeah, you have like new ideas coming to you, and you need to cut out the old, right? So when you're talking about that guy, I was like, maybe,
Yeah, here he is, the king of pentacles.
and then expand. See,
Mm-hmm.
I'm explain this card. Okay, so it's a 2. It's a choice. This is the past. This is the past, right? It was fertile, but it was limited. You see, he could only grow against the wall. Now he made a decision. It's like, I want to use this baton for something else. It could be a baton. It could be the staff of the thing of a ship, where they put
Mm-hmm.
this, it could be a lot of things. It could be kindling. And all these opportunities are I'm looking at, and it's based in love. It's sitting on roses. It's based in, this was fine for the time, but now it's time to like expand and take a chance and take an adventure and do something new that would lead to your being able to make more money, being able to make things grow, being able to be more secure and solid. Yeah, it's all going to change, honey. It's all about to change. And
Okay.
the thing is too, this is evolution. This is evolution of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this
Yeah.
card is really about. It's like things have shifted. It's like you understand things on a different level. It's almost like you're going from one grade to another. It's like, it's time for things to shift and change, to end the past and to move into something new.
Okay. We've got 3 more questions, Jeffrey.
Oh,
Starting with Carolyn. Hi, NJ and J. Okay. Will clean keto be right for me? Thanks. So I'm going to look.
that was a smart way to do it, NJ and J. Very smart.
Mm-hmm. Carolyn, you're going to have to balance it. Clean keto works really well for a little while, but then you're going to have to slowly incorporate other foods into your system. Watch your your health when you're starting the keto, and you're going to need to really be careful about getting. Sometimes when you're trying to do clean keto, you end up knocking out more protein than you know.
Yeah,
What'd you get?
this kind of, I got like, well, I'm going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, it's like, I'm not so sure. And then some disappointment. So, yeah, you're going to have to rebalance it. Actually, I think there's somebody in your life or somebody around, or you're going to be open to an idea or a message
Mm-hmm.
that, like, similar, but not quite the same,
Mm-hmm.
will help to. I think it's keto, but not that. I don't know what the difference is, to tell you the truth.
Clean keto is where you keep your macros to certain levels, and you really don't. And I totally agree with getting rid of the grain oils and stuff, but there comes a point in clean keto where um, you want to have food that has flavor, and sometimes you have to break a few rules. If you like YouTube channels, go look at the Keto Twins. They're two sisters that have lost a lot of weight on keto,
Like,
and they test recipes and they tell you which places have the best ones. And I found them to be a place so I could bring diversity into my diet.
yeah, no, I like that because I feel like you're going to feel stuck, right, and be disappointed. But then I pulled, and then I got this balance card, so I feel like there's something else.
Right.
Like, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
the cleaner you can get it first, the easier it is to see how it's working for you. If time allows, could I read in the next 3 months Ness? Ness in the next 3 months. Ness in the next 3 months.
Looks nice.
Well, things are going to change around you as far as her job goes, but it's all the changes are not going to happen just the next 3 months. I think around the first of the year, there's going to be a real change at the business you work at. You're going to not be living with the illusions and delusions people have been feeding you, and you're just sort of sitting. You want to get in a place that's more comfortable. I think there's something wrong with where you live. Something's wrong with your house, and you're trying to figure out how to get that solved. And it's going to be when the angels come and throw the cup on your head and say move, that you're going to finally move to do anything about it. What you get?
I get a lot of beginnings. I get the Ace of Cups, which is really like intuition, healing, understand, like a new beginning. Maybe your intuitive stuff is going to open up more in order to like be solid and secure. I feel like you're going to get maybe an intuitive understanding of how to make money, of how to be more solid, more stable, more secure. And then I get the Fool.
She's going to have choices. That's what I have. She's giving up a lot of illusions, and she's going to have some positive choices.
Because the Fool is like the beginner, the true beginner.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I'm optimistic, I'm moving forward, I'm going to take a chance, everything is going to be okay, I'm not taking the past with me, I'm moving, yeah.
And someone's sending you healing energy for your cataracts. Linda Frazier.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Somebody sent me, a lot of people, actually, I get really lovely messages on my
Okay. This is our last question we're going to take out of the ones that are in here. And this is from Nancy Castro. Feeling poorly, stomach pain. Am I on the brink of another health crisis, or will it pass?
God bless you, Nancy.
I know. This is one of the people in this chat that I have physically met and spoken with and had meals with. Because she tracked me down.
Same cloth. Nancy and I are cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah. She gave me a beautiful bag to watch when the flips happen in the spring. Nancy casts help. Oh, girl. This is so good. You got the Sun and you got the Ten of Cups and a lot of emotional support. I think one of your sons is going to be very supportive to you through this. You're beating yourself up and you're not feeling loved, and it's because you're not secure about where your home is. So, what I think is you got to turn these two around, accept the love from that son, and figure out where you feel home is, and you're gonna be okay. What'd you get? I don't think it's another health crisis. I think it's not in your head. I think
You're
some.
eating kishkas out, I think is what's going on, Nancy.
Yeah.
You're eating your kishkas out. Okay?
Mhm.
So that's Yiddish, but Nancy's from New York, so everybody understands Yiddish in New York. Your kishkas are your guts, but it's your internal that. That's what's going on. But you'll know when to do what you need to do. You're the queen of timing is here. So you'll know when to act. You'll know what to do when you need to do it. Okay? There's
Mhm.
a lot of information around, but all is well. I mean, an opportunity, that's what it is. Maybe it's an opportunity to move, an opportunity to, yeah, 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 yeah. You're going to know when to take what you need and leave the rest.
Right. She's going to New
Clear.
York this fall.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's going to become clear because this is also sometimes like a little mini sun. So it's a little bit of illumination as well. So you're going to know when their timing is right. You'll know,
mhm.
right? Because the queen of cups, the queen of wands, she's a cat. She's a cat. It's a cat.
Mhm.
Always knows when to pounce. It doesn't waste its time. It sets itself up to get the mouse. It's like, okay, I'm going to sit here until the mouse comes. I'm going to sit here until the mouse comes. I got time. I'm not going to waste my swipe. Yeah,
Okay.
but you'll know when to move.
I'm going to hide her comment. We have one though. I'm going to ask her. I'm hoping to find out why it's so hard for me to lose weight. I'm totally changed my diet, eating only whole foods one day at a time. I'm 70 years old. Am I destined to be overweight? Belinda, I went from 330 down to 100 to 220, and I did it using keto. But just keep trying different things. You'll feel comfortable. It'll just occur to you, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not a medical professional. I'm speaking from my own life experience. It's Melissa wants to know what time the readings are starting. They're starting at noon, is it? Yeah. If you go over to, well, Melissa, I'll put it out today as a schedule so people can see what it is. Okay.
And the last person, don't stop concentrating on what's not working.
Right.
Down and see what you can use, right? The fives are always this weird perspective thing. So it's like they're concentrating on what's lost, and it's like, no, you still have some stuff around. Take hold of it, be the authority, be the authority. And then it becomes clear.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you didn't see it last time, they do this really interesting thing between Irish Granny and
Deborah.
Deborah. And Deborah channels in historic people to discuss.
Yeah, she was calling on the founding fathers and the founding mothers. It was fascinating. It was fascinating.
And Melissa, Melissa has a complicated question. She's in physical therapy. And I don't think we have time to answer it. Okay. All right. That's it. It's kind of it from us. Reminder, if you're interested in learning how to read tarot, and we really teach a real class and we give you all the books and all the learning and all the other stuff you can have, go to my go to the crystaldirections.com and look it up. And if you have any other questions about it, you can find me through there. And thank you, Jeffrey, for popping up from Mexico.
You're welcome. And listen, Melissa Miller, I know you, and you could send me an email, and I'll give you a reading.
Okay. You know,
And we hope to see all of you in the class. And I wear a different outfit every week, and it's really fun. You learn a lot.
mm-hmm.
And people ask really good questions, and it kind of makes me like, oh, I never thought of it like that. So
Mm-hmm.
what's good about doing it with other people, because maybe they'll see something in the card. It's like, I never saw that.
Yeah. People have said, why don't you just take the classes and put them up and you can buy them and see them when you want to. Trust me, you'll have so many questions at the end of the first class. You'll say, why am I doing it this way? I want to be where I can ask someone a question.
Right.
And we want to be there to give you the answers, don't we? So
right.
Jeffrey and I are saying bye.
Blessing.